Hello, and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And we're here, finally. We recorded so many episodes at the beginning of last month because sometimes we get busy, and that's like the way to do it.
Gotta plan ahead.
But then so many things happened.
October was quite a month.
It really was. So today's episode is partly inspired by a possible segment that we were kicking around at the end of last year when we were like trying to do some podcast retooling, along with a little Instagram activity I did the other day. Mm-hmm. And the topic of today's episode will be Roses and Thorns, October 2019.
Beautiful.
So like Roses and Thorns was your suggestion. So will you explain like the premise of this activity?
Sure. Roses and Thorns is something if you've ever gone to like a team building or community building exercise, if you ever had a teacher that was really into like building classroom community, then maybe you've had a little circle discussion called Roses and Thorns. And basically the idea is that you think about your week or your month or your day, and you think of a rose being a positive and a thorn being something that maybe was a negative or was a challenge. And it's just sort of a way to like air out your thoughts and feelings about a variety of different things.
Yeah, so on one of the later days in October that we'll get to in a minute where things felt particularly bleak, I posted on Instagram, like, here's 10 things that we smiled about this week. Like, what about you guys? And I got so many really great answers back of people like, here's a K-pop thing I had. But several people specifically said, like, thank you for asking this because sometimes I forget to, like, look for the positives in things. And I think when we have a month like October where the bad parts of it feel so exponentially bad.
And one right after the other in the way that this month was.
Then it sort of feels like I feel like sometimes it makes you like question, like, why do I like K-pop at all if it's going to hurt me so bad or whatever. So I guess I just wanted to like take some time so that we could talk about those negative and bad things that happened so that they're like documented for the history of K-pop and we have a chance to talk about them, but also to cushion it with like good things that happened so that it doesn't feel like
to bring a little bit of balance into your K-pop life. Hopefully, if you're out there having a K-pop existential crisis, we're here for you.
Then we're here for you. Okay, so I thought like we'll just get it out of the way. We'll do our list of thorns up top, like get our sad feelings and our angry feelings and all that stuff out. And then we'll just gush for a while about the good stuff. Fair enough?
Sounds great.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start thorns on about as thorny of a note as you could. I really wanted to talk about this like when it happened, but it didn't feel right and I had a hard time. So bear with me now. I'm going to try to get the thoughts out that I wanted to get out a few weeks ago. Okay. So on October 14th this year, sadly, Sully, formerly of FX, took her own life. I feel like I don't have the tools or the preparedness to like properly eulogize her or anything right now, but she was very special to me. Like she was in the first drama we ever watched, and like FX was a really big group for me at the beginning, and like her Instagram was always like a highlight of my day, and it just like felt like a really shitty blow, and it's fucking tragic. There's like no other thing to say about it. But I think something that happens whenever there's like a suicide or something like this is that everybody really wants to try to find someone to blame or try to like psychoanalyze this person that we honestly really didn't know.
Absolutely.
We only knew like a small public version of her. And I just feel like all of that stuff is like wasteful and counterproductive and like not the best thing to do. But one thing that we do know for sure is that for the last 5 years of her life, like Sully was relentlessly hated on the internet, like just for existing. Like from the moment her dating controversy happened, which she was 19 years old when all of that happened, like, by the way, and just people piled on her for years. And not to say that like, that's the only reason, like, I don't want to do that.
Of course.
But what I do want to do is to try to take this very sad thing and again, try to find the positive in it. So my call, I want to make like a challenge, a call to anybody who's listening to this, that I think we should all take time to put more positivity out into the world in general. You know, like haters on the internet or like anonymous hate, like just people being shitty is like something that I don't know we'll ever really be able to stop, but we can like counter it.
Absolutely. We cannot control what other people do or say, but we can put conscious effort into what we do and say. And I think that it speaks volumes when you put a positive voice out into the internet, even if it seems like all of the negative voices are so much louder. You never know, like, if it's just a comment on someone that you know or someone that you don't, it doesn't really matter. But like, you never know what comment is going to like brighten somebody's day. And maybe it's exactly what they needed to hear right now. But you'll never lose by saying something kind.
Totally. So a thing that I have been trying to do lately is like, maybe this is just me, but there was like a part of me that always thought like commenting on idols' Instagrams is like
Silly.
like kind of cringy or silly, or like there's 15,000 comments on this picture of Chanyeol. Like, what's my comment going to do?
Yeah.
But we've heard time and time and time again that like idols read their fucking comments.
Absolutely.
They like look for that stuff. So like, why not just say, I love that shirt on you. You look cute today, or whatever. And also, like you said, in people in my real life, that's a thing that I've also been making conscious effort to do, is that like I'm scrolling Instagram and like, oh, there's that girl I went to college with. I don't really talk to her, but like, oh, her and her kid look cute in that picture. Like, what is the harm in me saying like, hey, you look very cute? Like, I don't know. I don't know why I feel like self-conscious about like, you know, putting out that positivity, but I think we all could stand to do it more.
I 100% agree. I feel like I always felt a little similarly when it came to commenting on a celebrity's Instagram, but also even just on commenting on people that I actually know. I feel like I've always been such a passive social media user. And it's been, I've been for the past month, I guess, or month or two, been like consciously just saying nice things. If I thought a nice thing when I saw your photo, I just like write it down. And it's nice. Like you get people that are like, oh, thank you so much for saying that, or whatever. Or like sometimes someone will like text me and be like, hey, I haven't talked to you in forever. Like, how are you? And it's you know, just bring a little brightness to yours and someone else's day.
Yeah, totally. I think especially with social media or whatever, it's very easy to just spend time like whining about things or complaining about things, or like, I saw this movie and it sucked. But I think so much of the time I like am enjoying and consuming things that I love so much, and I never tell anyone. Like, for selfish example, on this podcast, we ask you guys like, oh, leave us a review, like talk to us on social media, because I want to hear if you guys like it. But I listen to like 40 podcasts a week, and like I don't usually take any time to tell those people I like their podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should do that too.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I guess that's like all I wanted to say, is that like, I'm really, really sad that like Sully's left us and like we can't do anything about that. But I would like to at least try and like turn it into some kind of like drive to just, I don't know, be nicer. Because people weren't nice to her, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But another, I recommended it when it came out, but like one more rec for Sully's solo album that came out last month. It's really good. And like the day we lost her, like Goblin was stuck in my head all day, and it weirdly like didn't make, I don't know, it weirdly gave me like some kind of comfort, because it's like a very nice album.
What is the album called?
I think the album is also called Goblin. Let me check. Yes, the album is called Goblin, but it's a three song quote unquote single.
Okay.
So rest in peace, sweet Sully. We will miss you. And that was our first like huge blow of October, and it truly like it set a tone, because
Absolutely.
because thankfully like the industry was respectful enough to like postpone like some comebacks and postpone some TV, like so everyone could take a moment. But then that like
yeah, it was a difficult way to start out a month, and then some interesting difficulties continued.
So the next like weird thing was 2 member departures from like boy groups, like one right after the other. On October 23rd, rookie boy group, The Boys, their member Hual, who, as I understand it, had been missing from the previous comeback due to an injury or like,
Yes,
it was known that he was hurt.
Yeah, he had some kind of leg. Forgive me, Boys fans, I don't know the exact details, but I know that he had some kind of leg injury and had received, I believe, I don't know if he had surgery, but I know he had to go through like physical therapy. So he was gone for quite a while, and then thought after going through physical rehabilitation that he would be like ready to join again, and then in getting back into the swing of things kind of maybe realized that his injury was more severe.
Sure.
But he made a statement that he wrote a very beautiful, like, and sincere and very heartbreaking like apology to the fans for explaining why he was leaving, and he was just like very sad to say that it's too difficult for him to continue promoting in the, I guess, the demanding schedule that is required of a rookie boy group. He just couldn't keep up with it and had to take the time for his own health.
Yeah. And that's like, it's one of those like toss-ups where it's like very sad that this like brand new group is losing a member so early, because we've been over a million times like how weird that kind of stuff is. But then there's also like that kind of bit of like warm hopefulness of like, hey, this person is taking care of themselves and is like, I can't be an idol, and like stepping away from it. And you know, that's going to be hard, like giving up a dream, and like, it's just a bummer, but I wish him well.
Yes, and I think he's made the right decision. You got to put yourself first sometimes.
Yeah. But then just like 5 days later, on the 28th of October, Stray Kids, JYP came out and said that member Woojin was out of the group.
Yeah.
And this, according from what I understood to Stays, was like absolutely out of the blue. Nobody had any idea. Like there was no inkling of that he was going to leave, and there
were no troubles brewing.
Yeah, and the statement was just a flat personal reasons, he's done.
Yeah,
so
very little details and explanation were given.
So there was a lot of theorizing about like what could have happened, because you know people have been kicked out of JYP for dating before, so like people were like, what if it was that? Or I don't know. And then I was going deep into Reddit, and like some people were saying that there was like a small portion of the fandom that like didn't like him and found that he had a bad attitude or was lazy or something. I don't know, but it all just seemed very weird. And it was very unfortunate because Stray Kids was about to have a comeback, and then it got pushed. So whatever this was, it must have been like big, because I don't know. But that just, it felt so sudden, and I felt so bad for like all the stays, because like, they're also so new and like on the rise, and like, oh no.
And to have something that has seemingly no precedent, like seemingly no explanation, just all of a sudden personal reasons, I must be going. It's the shock of it all makes it much more difficult to take.
Yeah. So I feel very bad for them. And so that was another like, oh no, what's happening? Okay. So this next part happened the last week of October, and I'm just going to say this right now before I go into this whole thing. If there are any Monbebe that are listening and are just like over this and do not want to hear it anymore, please skip forward, or just like, I totally understand if you do not want to hear this all recounted again, because I know that you've all been going through so much. So I just wanted to like offer that.
Yeah.
Like, no hard feelings. If you don't want to listen to me go over this again, you don't have to. Okay, so I took extensive notes, and like the reason I wanted to put that disqualifier is like emotions are very, very high around this, and I'm worried that people are just going to be offended that I'm talking about it at all. So I just want to say like this is the job we have taken for ourselves, that like we're trying to tell people about this stuff, and there are probably plenty of people who haven't heard a single detail of this.
Yeah, we're just stating the
fact. We just got to go over it. So like we did when we had our huge cube problem last summer, I tried to take good detailed notes and timeline it out. So we got to go through the whole thing.
Okay, start from the beginning.
Okay, so like a week before Monsta X's comeback, which was on the 28th of October, there was a controversy in the news. A Twitter account that like was started, like immediately started, and their first tweet was like, I'm going to post something that's going to ruin Wonho. Like it was a very like deliberate smear attempt. Somebody posted a video from a fan sign. And in the video, Minhyuk asks Wonho's nipples a question. Like, doesn't ask Wonho a question, asks his nipples a question. And then he says, me too, me too. And so people were like, it's not fun to joke about. Like, you don't joke about me too. So there was a big kerfuffle, and Wonho and Minhyuk both publicly apologized. But it was like kind of a big deal, and it got the fandom like very riled up.
Right.
About like,
it was a joke in poor taste, and people didn't like it, and immediately Minhyuk and Wonho
they apologized. So like, but that was like a weird start to a comeback. But I was just viewing it from my view as like the exact same thought I had when the first Hyuna E'Dawn rumors appeared. As I was like, oh, they finally made it. Because when people start going after you for dumb stuff, like I feel like that's when you know you've like gotten attention.
Absolutely.
If bad stories about you will sell, then like you're famous now. So I was just sort of letting it roll off like one of those things. But it was only going to get worse. Okay, before I get to the next part of the story, I have to introduce two characters in this horrible saga. Okay, so the first person that we're going to talk about is a woman named Han So-hee. And you may have heard her name before because she is a crucial figure in several very high-profile drug scandals. She was the girlfriend in Top's marijuana scandal, and she is also the person that B.I. texted to buy LSD from when he got kicked out of Icon earlier this year. So this girl is just like...
doing drugs with idols?
Yeah, and she was formerly a trainee at YG, Jellyfish, and Pledis. And has never debuted in any group. She's supposedly very, very
She better
rich.
stay away from my Pledis boys.
I know.
Girl, watch out.
Yeah. But she's apparently very, very rich, and she just like acts really wild on Instagram, has like wild opinions, and just like seems to thrive on attention. And there's like this whole subset of people that just like worship her and think she's like the queen of like tea spilling. And I don't know, there's this weird faction of K-pop fans, I feel like, that are like girl group stans that like their whole worldview is based around that like boy groups are inherently bad and that all boys that are in boy groups are bad.
Oh.
And so Han So-hee is just doing everyone a favor by like exposing these
shitty boys.
bad men. She is like a very outspoken misandrist, which means she hates men.
Interesting.
And she also is like super vocally anti-trans. Like, I don't know. She's just like fucking controversial.
Oh, so she's a fucking TERF?
Yes, she's
Great.
a TERF, and she's a misandrist, and she like...
TERF stands for trans exclusionary radical feminism,
Yes.
and it's a subset of feminism that is very, very anti-trans, and they're incredibly transphobic and offensive.
Yeah, she's one of those.
Cool.
So she sucks. I think she sucks.
Opinion time. She's the fucking worst.
She's the worst. But she's just like been around for the past couple of years, like trying to stir shit up. Like she also one time tried to say that she saw V from BTS in a club when they were both underage, and the army's like, that's the only time she's ever made like a public apology and said that like she shouldn't because no one fucks with the army. Yeah, so they did.
But also in every single one of these, I like don't understand how she continues to just. She's able to like shoot people down without ever getting in trouble herself. Like B.I. texted her to buy LSD from her. She's the drug dealer in that scenario, and like her life wasn't ruined because of this. Why?
Apparently, I think it's the money. Like, that's why she's so scary, is because she seems to be like,
she seems to be invincible.
She's like connected somehow. Okay, so that's Han So-hee. Now, there's another character in this story. Her name is Chung Da-eun. And I realized today that we know her because she was her movie debut was in that Mino Derailed movie that we hated so much. She was the girlfriend in that movie.
Oh.
Yeah. And that was like her movie debut.
Interesting.
She is a former...
She better stay away from Mino too.
I know, right?
I got both of these girls on my radar now.
Watching out. She is a former Eujang. And an Eujang, it was this thing that was... I mean, I guess it's probably still popular. But like around 2009, Korea was very obsessed with like good-looking kids on social media, and
Who isn't?
And Urzang is like a portmanteau of like best face is what it means. So there was a reality show called like Urzang Sode that was like, or Urzang Shide that was like, I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was a reality show or a competition show. It was on for 7 effing seasons. And it was just about like these kids who are hot and rich on Instagram.
Okay.
Jung Da-eun was one of them. She apparently also used to date Wonho, because Wonho from Monsta X was also one of these Urzang kids because he had a good face. Okay. The other thing about Jung Da-eun that you have to know, because it's like been weirdly in all of these articles, is that a year or so ago, it appeared that she was transitioning to be a man. Like her whole Instagram got wiped, and now she like presents very manly and was like going by male pronouns. But she took it back a few months ago and said that she was dating a woman who was 12 years older than her, who said, if you get gender reassignment surgery, then we can get married. Because like gay marriage isn't legal. So this older girlfriend was like manipulating her into becoming a man so that they could get married is her story.
Damn.
But she changed her mind.
Quite a tale.
Yeah. Not a man. Identifies solely as a lesbian. But she said that because she did take all those hormone shots, it's like irreversible. And she has like an Adam's apple and like a hairy chest. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Serious shit.
Okay.
But the weirdest wrinkle of this is that she is now apparently dating Han So-hee. And they like came out in their relationship in a very confusing Instagram live where they kept going back and forth and being like, oh, do you think we're dating? Like maybe we should date and like get money. And like, I don't know. They're wild characters, and I truly don't know what to make of any of it because everything they do and say seems like a troll, but
okay.
But I don't know, to live your life entirely in like a troll, like I don't know.
So in this Instagram live, did they say we are dating?
They were saying that they weren't dating, and then they said they were dating, and then they said they weren't dating, and then they said they were dating.
Okay,
for a
they
joke.
went back and forth.
You read the transcripts of it, and it's just like pure nonsense. They're really wild characters. Okay, so these are our two villains in this story, I guess.
Our two antagonists.
I guess that's a more objective journalist word.
Well,
allegedly.
An antagonist is a character that is not necessarily a villain, just like a protagonist is not necessarily a hero.
Okay.
They are just the foils to our main character, who is Wonho.
Okay. Yes, that's fair enough.
I teach a literature class.
I love that. So on October 28th, Monsta X puts out their Follow album. Everything seems good and fine. They do some stages. They make their M2 relay video.
Yeah, and all of it is great. And Follow is a good song. The choreography is amazing. That relay video and that one, what was that video that Pentagon did where they changed all the outfits and then Monsta X came and blew their booties out of the water in those suits? They look so good.
Yeah, those funny. And let me look it up. I want to know what it is because people need this joy in their life. Gap Crush. It's the Gap Crush videos.
Okay.
1K originals. Anyway, so it was good. I was having a great time.
Yeah.
It was a great comeback. I was really excited to do it. Then, on October 29th,
the troubles begin.
The new troubles begin.
The troubles continue.
So Jung Da-eun, Wonho's old ex, claims on her Instagram that Wonho owes her $35,000
USD.
Yes, for back rent and for selling all of her stuff when they lived together.
Do we want to give a little bit of history about their relationship, or are you going to get into that later? As far as like Wonho was like, you know, he was a kid, he got into trouble. He lived with her.
Yeah. So one of the things that like Monbebe have always known about Wonho is that he said a lot that like he had a troubled past, that he was like very poor and that things were hard for him and that he's changed a lot. He didn't get into specifics because like he doesn't have to.
Yeah. But he made bad decisions when he was a kid and at a certain point was not living at home.
Right. Like he moved out as a teenager because like his family was extremely poor and he was like a rough and tumble kid trying to make it on his own or whatever. So he lived with this girl and they were just being like bad teenage runaways, it sounds like. And she says that, like, he never paid rent back then and he sold all her furniture and he owes her money. Starship, denies this and says, like, we're going to sue her if she keeps saying this stuff. So she gets back on Instagram and is like, here are screenshots of a time I talked to Wonho's lawyer. So it's just, like, screenshots where it literally says, hello, this is me, Wonho's lawyer. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they real?
Who
knows? It's
but also
screenshots.
the conversation doesn't prove anything because
the lawyer's saying, I've never heard any of this
the
before.
lawyer does not admit to owing her this money. So it's not like these screenshots contradicted the statement that Starship put out, which was that her statement was false and that they were not going to pay her a dime.
Right. But then she's not done. So her and Han So-hee start posting about, like, oh, you think you're going to stop us? Like, Hosoka, we know everything about you. Like, we know about how you went to juvie for aggravated stealing, like aggravated
theft,
burglary, aggravated theft or whatever. And, like, we're going to take you down. So this was, like, a bit of a, like, bad kerfuffle because, like, I don't know, people get very understandably, like, touchy about money and stuff. And, like, it seems like a very clear cut and dry sort of thing. Like, if he owes her money, he should pay her the money back. Like, okay.
Sure.
But then the juvie part, like, becomes a problem because there's no way to prove it, I guess, because they erase criminal records get erased because kids should get a chance to, like, be adults or whatever, right?
Yes. If you're charged as a minor, both in this country and also in Korea, I assume, your criminal record, if you committed a crime after under 18, it gets expunged when you turn 18. So that means that it's sealed and closed and, like, no jobs are allowed to ask you about it in the future because it's something you did as a kid and you're not a felon. Like, it's not like you committed a conscious crime as an adult. You were under 18 and you made a mistake and now it's your chance to move on and change your life.
So, of course, like, the Monbebe, because they, like, more or less knew this and it's just mostly getting confirmed for them, like, don't seem to mind that much. But then, of course, like, the general public is like, criminals and, you know, they would put our idols on a pedestal and they shouldn't ever be bad or whatever. So I remember going to bed that night and thinking, like, oh, what a bummer of a controversy right in the middle of a comeback. But I didn't think anything more of it because it was just like, I don't know, it just seemed really simple, cut and dry. Like, if people are fighting about money, then like, oh, they'll work it out in court.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That part seemed it's a very minor controversy. Like, oh, we're going to take you down. You owe us money. And it's like, okay, well, I'm a very rich idol now. So fine, here's your money. If it is in fact something that he owed her. And then the juvenile record thing, like you said, the Monbebe kind of already knew that Wonho had this troubled past. He never really hid that fact. So it's not like it's this brand new scandalous information that utterly tarnishes. And the Monbebe, like, didn't really seem to care and seemed to be more concerned about preserving the well-being of Wonho than his reputation. They're like, oh, this doesn't change the way that we feel about him. We just hope that he's okay having his name dragged through the mud. Like, we don't want him to be hurting because of this news, because this news is not hurting us.
Right. So the next day, October 30th, it seems like this debt and Jubi kerfuffle has made it to the main news. And Han So-hee and Jung Da-eun are, like, being really bitchy on Instagram and, like, calling themselves Bonnie and Clyde and, like, you know, really pew 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 having a great time. And because of this, some guy DMs Jung Da-eun, like, knowing that they are the arbiters of this drama, and is like, hey, guess what? My wife has been cheating on me with Shonu, and I think you should tell everyone. So she sends this dumb guy. So she sends these screenshots to Han So-hee, who, like, as the arbiter of all things drama, posted on her Instagram.
Right.
It got deleted very quickly, but it was out there. And I'll just pause and say that, like, I gotta say, I'm really upset at how much further this drama went because I want to laugh forever about wife stealing Shonu. Like, I want that to be funny.
Like, we made before any of this scandal came out and Monsta X was on Ellen, you and I were joking so much about how, like, all the wives at Ellen are just going to throw their rings off and, like, lose their goddamn minds because Shonu has said publicly that his type is, like, a 40-year-old woman.
Yeah, Samantha from
like,
Sex and the City.
Yes.
He loves, like, MILFs.
And I love that about him because he is the hot pool boy that like, the MILF is showing off for. And I just, God, I want to laugh about it so bad.
But like it got not funny. So I guess I'll just say it right here, right now. I wish that I could laugh about that.
Part of me always will, but I recognize that it got not funny.
Yes, same. So I'm assuming that like because now this has gotten... This is just an assumption, but because now that this has gotten so big that another member is being dragged in, I think Wonho in his like infinite like self-flagellation like need, like he's just like a soft like must punish myself, like he's just one of those types.
He's very guilt-ridden.
Yeah.
Whether he deserves to be or not.
Yeah. So he did that thing that I absolutely hate that happens in dramas. And he did the noble idiot thing and like wrote a letter on Fan Cafe and was like, I'm leaving Monsta X.
Yes. He didn't want to drag down the members and felt as though his past was the only reason that Shonu's name was now being thrown out into the mix. And so in order to preserve the group, he decided to take himself out of it, which nobody asked him to do.
Exactly. Nobody asked him to leave. He just did it, and it felt really, really shocking. And because like I said, I went to bed being like weird rumors, and then like woke up to like Wonho's not in Monsta X anymore, and it just felt like what?
Yeah.
Because I could understand he's going to the military early. He's sitting out this comeback. Like there are a million other things.
Just go to the military, man. Like just take a hiatus. By the time you come back, no one's going to care.
Yeah. But he left. So it was like this big, huge blow to the whole like comeback that was happening. I was reading Twitter accounts that the fans were waiting outside to go into M Countdown and somebody walked out and was like, go home.
Wow.
And they had Ki-hyun like re-record all of Wonho's lines like in between pre-record and actual recording for the music show that day. It's wild. So things for Monsta X just continued like nothing had happened. Like we've been over before happens when these weird.
Yeah. Like when people drop out in the middle of a tour or whatever the case may be, the show must go on. Whether you agree with that sentiment or not, it is the way it is.
It is the way it is. But obviously the Monbebe were very upset about this. They were, flooding the fan cafe. They were going to Starship and they left like Post-it notes like all over the building, begging Wonho to like, please come back to us. Then it just to keep it going on November 1st, Dispatch is like, we got all the tea. Like, we met with these two bitches and they told us everything.
Mm-hmm. Direct quote.
It should have been. And I'm going to read this part because it's truly too wild. And I can't believe that it's part of it and that it worked. I'm so shocked. So part of this Dispatch report is that somebody who's going by the name Joe, who is literally currently sitting in the Seoul Detention Center for his role in the Burning Sun, whatever. Like, this dude is in jail right now and was interviewed from jail and told Dispatch that one time Jung Da-eun told him that, like, oh, you can borrow my fancy belt. Here's the key to my apartment. So he was in her apartment rifling in the closet, and then he heard her and Wonho come in, and he was like, oh, I'll just stay hiding in this closet. And then he heard and smelled them smoke weed, but they didn't know he was in the closet. So because of this testimony from jail closet guy, Wonho is like officially under investigation. And because of that, Starship contract ended.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't matter that he removed himself. Like, he's not an employee of Starship anymore because of this like extreme breach of contract by breaking the law and smoking weed 6 years ago or whatever it was.
Right, because the statute of limitations for smoking weed or doing any drugs in Korea is quite long.
Like 7 or 8 years or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It may be different for different drugs, but it's a long time.
It's a long time. It's like super, super, super illegal there. So I feel like, I mean, you can be mad at them for whatever you want, but I think in this case, Starship's hands were kind of tied.
Sure, yeah.
Because
and they
people
had
take that drug stuff like really
very,
seriously.
very seriously. We've seen several idols' careers be ruined by it, whether they were specifically like doing an illicit drug like smoking weed or something like Park Bom, who was just trying to take Adderall, I think.
Yeah.
She like had a prescription
But
from
it was smuggling and yeah.
you know, it's just, it has affected several different idols in the past. And I think to their credit in some way, like Starship had been on both Wonho and Shonu's sides like throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
They immediately came out and said, no, we're pressing charges against the slander for the money thing. When the whole Shonu thing happened, they were like, Shonu, that relationship is over. And Shonu had no idea she was married. Like, this doesn't matter.
Him.
We're behind him. We're behind our artists. Wonho has decided to leave, but we support him. It's his decision. Like, nobody asked him to leave. And then at this point, it's like, okay, well, now he's broken the law and he is under investigation. We can't.
There's kind of nothing they can do. So it's that sucks.
Mm-hmm. He's allegedly broken the law, I would like to say, because
allegedly.
I'm sorry, but you heard him smoking weed. Like, what did you hear? An enormous bong? Like,
Yeah.
What
did you hear?
Did you hear him? Hey, grab that. Like, let's get high. I don't know what. Smoking is not something. It's not an audible thing.
Yeah. It's such a wild story. It's such a wild story.
And why were you hiding in the closet? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's fine.
So it seemed like on November 1st, like this was about it. Like it seemed like, okay, they got what they wanted or whatever. Like Wonho's for real gone now.
And now he really can't come back.
And he's in trouble. But it wasn't over because on November 3rd, a bunch of nudes, supposed Shonu nudes, got leaked on the internet. I did not see them because I'm a good person and I did not go looking for them. There's like, people say there's strong evidence that they're probably not real. But the pictures were of a naked person sleeping. So it's just like a violation all over the place because it's not like a mirror dick pic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not like he took the pictures and sent them to someone. Someone took the pictures of
a sleeping person
when he was not aware of it.
Right.
Whoever that person may be.
Whoever that person may be, whether it was him or not, it's not cool. So his name was like trending all over and like it was like another thing.
I didn't know that. Now I really can't laugh about the wife thing.
I know.
God damn it.
It's not fair. I just
want him to have all the MILFs that he wants.
I know. He deserves them. I feel like at least the slightest of silver linings is that like the vast majority of people like were like, oh, he's a victim in this. Especially
people are not getting angry at Shonu because of it.
No, I think people are more. If whoever put these out, like if their intention was to make him look bad, I feel like they failed because they've made him look like
sympathetic
a victim.
Yeah.
And especially because because of so much of the horrible shit that happened this year was around like hidden cameras and revenge porn and that like it fell into all of those categories that whoever was trying to like make him look bad really failed. But unfortunately, you know, like his name was out there and these pictures are out there and like, it doesn't matter if they're real or not.
And whether they're real or not, that's a horrible experience to go through.
So that's like where the saga stands now. But I guess as like a transition to Rose's part, like the one part of this that is like legitimately incredible and like very admirable is like how organized and serious the Monbebe are about this. Like nobody is taking this lying down. There has been like a concerted, is that the right word?
Yeah, concerted and consistent effort to show their support.
Yeah, they have like a whole system where like every day at like whatever hour they change what hashtags they start using in their Twitters, and they've kept Wonho in the like 1 through 4 spot of Twitter trending hashtags for a solid week.
Wow.
And they've bought Times Square billboards and like money and time and articles, and so much stuff is like getting spent because like I feel like the Monbebe have like finally been pushed. And all of us K-pop fans have been pushed for years to this like limit of like, we're not going to take this like slander shit anymore. Like we like our idols because they sing and dance good, and like we don't care about their sex lives or what they did when they were teenagers, or like we care about redemption. And like,
I think it's important that it's important, we say this all the time, but to remember that our idols are human beings. And although they are called idols because the initial idea was for them to be the ideal and to be up on that pedestal, but the reality is that nobody is an ideal. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And to constantly be holding people to this absurd and impossible standard is bad for people's mental health. It's bad for us as an audience to like constantly be comparing ourselves to these impossible standards. And then for them as well, like you make one mistake and your entire career is over is just, depending on the mistake, ludicrous.
Yeah.
You know? So it was really beautiful to see Monbebe like continue to be a really great and inspiring fandom. I think we've mentioned this before, that they're always so like positive and kind and supportive. And like we always love the like Mon Carrot friendship and stuff. And Monbebe stayed true to their form. They love their boys and they're here to support them. And that was really nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, no matter how this all ends up shaking out, I just wanted to like say a sincere like way to go for everybody like keeping up their positivity and like continuing to fight for their idol. Like the horrible, cynical part of me like really doesn't think in this. I don't know if we'll get anything in this case, but maybe it will spur a change or show some like, and maybe the next time this happens, it won't go so badly. I don't know. I just hope that everybody like can stay strong and like get through that initial yucky hiccup that always happens after like losing a member, where like there's a very, very good chance that like we will never hear Monsta X talk about him again. And like that's going to be like, that's hard to deal with. That like a missing member means like
that chapter's closed.
They're gone now. And like that's hard. And then like the fans who like maybe liked him best, like maybe they'll have a hard time liking Numa, and like that's okay. And I don't know. It's all just gonna, I hate when this stuff happens and it's a process. So I'm just saying like, I'm here for all of you. Like, I know that it's no fun. Like I've unfortunately had to do this before, and like, I don't like it. Nobody likes it.
But I hope that any Monbebe out there feel a sincere pride and sense of comfort in the fact that the outpouring of love and support 100% brightened Monsta X's day. Like there's no doubt about it. Like we were saying earlier about putting kindness out for anyone that you feel that kindness toward. Like it's gonna maybe it won't make a huge historical difference. Maybe it won't bring Wonho back, but it 100% at the end of the day, when they read that nice comment or noticed that petition or saw that hashtag or whatever, they're like, people still are supporting us, and that is very comforting. So you're showing up for your boys, and they see you, and we see you.
Yeah, they really do. So I'm so sorry that this comeback got tainted so horribly. But the album
really
still slaps.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks, because it's like I was so ready to just like, yes, enjoy this comeback.
Yeah.
But it's okay. So I got it. That's that segment out. So now it's Rose time. Now we're going to talk about things that happened in October and early November, because we got to get it out.
Yeah.
That made us happy.
Yes. And some of these things are just our own personal, like, we really loved this in October. We really loved this in early November. And some of these roses come from you guys, and you sent them in as a response to a little story that Shannon put out a couple weeks ago. and told us what was keeping you happy.
Yeah, so I just have a little scratchy list here. We can just run down them. So I wrote that the Super Junior comeback was fun.
Yes, it
when
was.
we recorded our Super Junior episode, it wasn't even going to come out, and it did get pushed a little bit. But it happened, and it was fun, and the song was good, and like it was good.
Yeah, both songs were good. They did Super Clap, and also I called it Dance With Me, but
Shall
that's
We
not
Dance?
Shall We Dance? But that's not the name of the song, is it?
Oh, I think I.
I think I. That's
need
what
a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I Think I and Super Clap, both great songs. They did very brief music show performances as those sort of like veteran, they're old men, those veteran groups do. But it was great. Both stages are fun.
There was a good After Mom Falls Asleep and a good Knowing Brothers. So some good Super Junior variety is always good for a laugh. The next thing I had on my list, I feel like I will just defer to you because my stake in it is a small one corner of it. But Wavy made their like official Korean music show debut, full album Wavy.
Well, so they came out with it's technically a second EP.
Okay.
But it is the first. So their first EP, which had their debut song "Take Off," also included 2 covers of original NCT songs, Regular and Comeback. And this album, which is the same length, it's 6 songs, but this album is entirely original Wavy songs, meaning that none of these songs are sung by any other NCT subunits, because Wavy is really, in like a fantastic way, kind of cemented themselves as, yes, they like are part of the NCT universe, but they are like a different and entirely like, they are a very well conceived unit that is in many ways separate from NCT, both physically and aesthetically as well. Like they have a different sound to them than NCT does. And so they came out with their second album, which is called Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
And I was wrong. Okay, it's called Take Over the Moon. So their second EP is called Take Over the Moon, and it is the lead single is called Moonwalk. They have a great music video for it. I was so excited when it came out. And that song, Moonwalk, which is sung in Mandarin because all of their songs are, they were able to make a debut on the Korean music shows. So they never performed Take Off on any Korean music shows, and they did do Moonwalk on Music Bank, I believe, and maybe the show. They did a couple of different stages. The choreography is amazing, of course. They sing it in Mandarin. They don't do a Korean version, which I appreciated because all of Wavy is ethnically Chinese. So I appreciate that. They like didn't, that they got to like stay, they waviness. They stayed wavy and they did their Korean shows and they rocked it. And the album is so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. I really liked the first one, but it had like I don't like the song Regular, and Takeoff is fine. I like Takeoff. I don't change it when it comes on, but it has like that noise break in the middle. And Moonwalk does too, but it's like where if Takeoff was taking it to 11, then Moonwalk takes it to maybe like an 8.
Sure.
So it's not as bad.
Yeah.
It like flows better. But the album itself is fantastic. It's like melodic and it has R&B and it's like very sexy and also very cute and fun and emotional. It's like, it has literally everything. I love my Wavy baby so much.
Aww.
And then they ruined my life. And they made their slutty debut. And
slutty English debut. Man, 2019, I feel like we've gotten some really quality slutty English between like Lay and Monsta X and Wavy.
And now Wavy. Woo! If you guys we tweeted about it, but if you guys haven't already watched the Love Talk music video, so Love Talk is a B-side on this Take Over the Moon EP. And then they, after releasing the Moonwalk music video and going on their music shows, they put out a second music video for Love Talk, but this time it's an English version. And it's fantastic. The entire song is about falling for someone hot that doesn't speak your language and just letting your body talk instead.
Yes.
And it's fucking great.
It's really great.
It's fucking great.
Wait,
There's no Sminglish in it. None at all. It's definitely written by someone who I was thinking at first, because I was like, oh my God, like all of this English makes sense. None of it is gibberish. Maybe they really got a native speaker to write it. And I don't think they did, because there's just like some things about something about the syncopation in it. Like there's one where Lucas is like, I think you are into me. And like the way that they don't use contractions is definitely like a second language thing, but it's great. It's so good.
It's very good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And the music video is not as raunchy as the song. The
Cheeky
music
shoulders.
video, yes, cheeky shoulders.
When
only.
the teaser, and Helga sent me the teaser the night before it came out, and in the teaser, it was just like they were all very clearly shirtless, but they're in like a smoky room, and the camera is only from like the shoulders up, and it's like otherwise fuzzy all the way around them. And you were like, "Oh no, shirtless!" And I was like, "I will laugh so hard if the video is only these cheeky shoulders," and it was. It's just the cheeky shoulders. There's no more to it. And
I mean, there's other scenes in the music
but
video.
I sent you the GIF. It reminds me of the Michael Jackson Black or White video where the people are turning into other people because it's just them from like the shoulders up.
And there are like other scenes where they're fully clothed and like walking around and like driving cars and looking fucking stunning. But the music video doesn't like the lyrics are quite explicit, but the music video is not, which I appreciated. Jenna called it a classy fuck jam,
yes.
which is my new favorite genre. And they did it phenomenally. I'm so proud of my slutty children.
It's really great.
I love them so much.
Yeah, my only investment in this Way We Come Back so far is that Lucas has an Instagram now. Yeah. And like several nights the past couple of weeks, I have like gone to bed very, very late because Lucas gets on Instagram Live and I just have to watch it.
I bet you that it was Kai and Timeen who put that bug in his ear.
Probably.
Like he came back from Super M and was like, ooh, I love doing an Instagram Live.
I love Instagram. Yeah. But yeah, he's the cutest.
Thanks, Kai.
So that's a good rose.
My biggest, smelliest rose. I love it so much.
Great. The next thing on my list came from a listener, but it also like definitely warmed my heart. But I apologize if I get any of the details wrong because I'm not in this fandom, but I think I have the details. So, as you may or may not know, a couple of months ago, member Mina from Twice said that she would not be coming on the world tour, like because she's having like severe anxiety issues and just like can't do it right now. And everybody was very proud of JYP for letting her not do it and like, cool, good for Mina, take some time. So she hadn't been seen with the group in a while. She's in the Feel Special music video and it's kind of about her, but she didn't promote. But at their like Halloween themed fan meet in early October, where Twice goes all out on Halloween.
Yeah, they
and,
really
like,
do.
Really wears costumes. So when they did their like Halloween fan meet, Mina came out and she performed 2 songs with them. She didn't stay to do the like Q&A game part. She like went home, but it was like very special for the Onces to get to like see her and like she looked well and she was like with her group, little baby steps and like I just think that's very nice.
That is very nice. It's nice to see a company, a group, and a fandom supporting an idol who's being very upfront about the stress that kind of career can put on you, because we've talked about this a lot, but like it's not for everyone. And even the people who love it and like want to do that for their lives, like I think it's so important to take time for your own mental health. And so bravo to JYP, to the Onces, to Twice, and to Mina for doing it and doing it publicly and maybe hopefully setting more of a precedent for those kinds of things to continue to happen in the future as needed, you know?
Absolutely. And on that same topic, another thing that listeners mentioned a couple times as a bright spot of their October was all of the Halloween festivities. The SM Halloween party did not happen this year for obvious reasons, but many groups did Halloween costume special dance practices and Halloween costume special stages. I saw so many wild like music show stages where people were in like full bloody vampire outfits or like whatever. Like people seemed to do the Halloween this year. Yeah. And a lot of you said that that was like a bright spot, was getting to see people have Halloween fun. So that's great. The next thing on my list is titled Military Discharges and Other Handsome Soldiers. Because I think that was a big part of my month is we got G-Dragon is back.
Yay!
G-Dragon is out of the military. And as of yesterday, we'll cut into November. Taeyong and Daesung are out of the military. So now all of Big Bang is out of the military. Yes, I said all. We don't count that other guy. They're all back.
Hooray! My baby Top's no longer alone.
Yes, and he's been really wild. He's so funny on Instagram. Ooh, here's a call.
That will be my rec later.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
I'll that's what another rose of mine.
Okay, great. And on the other handsome soldiers, that's part of this sentence is like I feel like I've been getting really good content from my enlisted boys lately.
Yes.
Changmin posted a beautiful picture of him and Mino the other day, and it was like the caption was like truly manly. And I was like, get out of here. And Changmin has a terrible half mustache, but Mino looked amazing in like a black turtleneck. Amazing.
And a little cap. And he just looked and he was smiling and he looked so happy. And I swear our shiny boys are just more beautiful in the army.
Because on that same day, Key posted a picture of himself like in the flowers
literally
and his skin.
In a field of
it's like the sun.
Flowers.
Oh my God. Glowing. Glowing.
King of perfect skin. That Kim Kibum.
Minsuk did something. Exo Schumann. I was like, what is this? Yikes. It's been too long. See, if they get out of my face, I like forget about them. They drift into the recesses of my mind. But I saw pictures of him. He's doing a musical right now, and like he looks great. The military just looks good on people.
Probably because it's relaxing in comparison.
Probably.
But yeah, so our military boys are looking great and coming out of the military, which is just fantastic.
It's great, and it just reminds me that like it's not so bad and that like time passes, because I feel like Big Bang went into the like that they just went and they're out already, and like Onu is half done, and like the time goes by and then they come back and like it's okay. So that was a good rose. This next one was on my list because I included it in the Insta story, but I don't know how much you really consider it a positive, but I wrote Loey Studios, or whatever it is that Chanyeol is doing.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I guess it's not, I only say that in the sense that it's not something I'm like actively excited and looking forward to, only because they have not like put out any music. So it's not like I have like a music video to look forward to. But it is exciting in the sense. So Chanyeol has teamed up with a rapper whose name I don't know. But they know each other through SM. I don't think he's an SM artist, but he worked with SM as like a songwriter and maybe like a trainer, some kind of trainer. Because after EXO hit it big with Growl, this guy who's, like I said, I don't know his name, he, I guess, had been like a trainer or a songwriter for SM, and so Chanyeol had reached out to him asking him to help him with his rapping because EXO was getting big. So that's how they initially began whatever their professional relationship is, or was at the time. But so this week, I guess, in the past week or so, they've started an Instagram. It's called Studio NNG, and they use like the Hangul letters.
Oh,
yes, but the logo is like them fitting together in like a little Tetris shape. And at first, when they put out they put out a thing that was like, you know, it was like 10 days, 9 days, first video in 8 days, 7, 6, whatever. And the first thing that they put out was like a sort of intro video, which did kind of seem like a music video. Maybe it is a full song, actually, now that I think about it. But it's like really wild, and it has like crazy animations.
CGI,
there's like spaceships
hero.
and aliens, and I don't fucking know what it was. It was a lot. Very high budget and production value, I suppose. And then they put out their first video, which is like a 6-minute little documentary that basically is just explaining. So Chanyeol and this guy like bought a warehouse space and have been taking their own time and money in investing into turning it into a studio. So the first episode of this show is just them like literally picking out paint colors and furniture and like talking about how they met each other. So we don't really know what is going to come out of Studio in NG. We know that he is using Loey as his like tag for it, which is always trouble.
Loey is the bad Chanyeol.
Yeah, Loey is his
alter
fuckboy
ego.
persona. Yeah. Because I was gonna say his slutty persona, but I like my slutty boys. I don't like my fuck boys.
Right.
Chanyeol, you make me so mad. But this isn't making me mad. This is an interesting, like, fun thing. It's exciting to see him, I don't know, like, doing what he wants to do.
Making money moves like a big boy businessman.
Yeah, because
I was happy to see that it was actually just like, oh, I'm making a studio. This is me making music. Because when you originally just sent me the teaser and we didn't know what it was for and it seemed so expensive, I think my response was like, I'm constantly baffled at what he chooses to spend his money on.
Yes.
Because he seems to spend money like ridiculously and on things that seem frivolous and dumb, like his ugly car or his Iron Man suit. So I thought like, what even is this? But like to know that like he bought property and is trying to make like music business moves, like, okay, good for you. Then,
yeah, and it's exciting too because he's always been an idol who he plays so many instruments and he like is very interested in composing and producing music, and he has like a SoundCloud that he's been keeping up for a long time. He collaborates on his own with like a lot of different artists and doesn't put out the music. Like he doesn't release it through SM. He doesn't
SoundCloud.
He just SoundClouds it. He doesn't like make money off of it or put it together in any kind of album. And so, especially after XOSC, where he and Sehun got like such a seat, and you know they got a chance to be in the driver's seat when it came to making their own music. The fact that he is taking the initiative to make his own studio, I think I'm like very proud of him and very happy and excited for him to do whatever he's going to do.
That's very nice.
Just seems like another reason, you know, one more thing to put off the army, but it's fine.
It's fine.
Seems like that's what all of EXO's doing.
On that deep sigh EXO note, I'm just going to say right now that like we are currently in this moment, like now getting teasers for whatever this fucking EXO comeback later this month is going to be. Obsession. I just want to like... Do the young people even remember those commercials? I doubt it.
Obsession.
I don't fucking care. I just like every time that there is one of these like EXO teaser puzzle, I can't even explain how little I fucking care about that stuff. I don't care. And
the EXO of it all.
The EXO of it all. And this time it's like there's an anti-EXO.
Yeah.
And
their slogan is are we one?
But I hate the styling. The trailer they put up this morning of Kai with those spooky... It's too scary. I don't want it.
Suho does look like an evil fairy from Midsummer Night's Dream or like Fantasia or something. He has like red hair, and in the teaser he's wearing like a red leather jacket and no shirt. It's like just abs. And then as it like, he's like literally like on a plate like spinning or something, and it just like focuses on his abs, and then it comes up to his face and he like arches his eyebrow evilly or whatever, and he just looks like a little cartoon. I don't know what to tell you. Like EXO's so over dramatic. And I'll be a bitter XOL until the end.
Oh, me too. And I'm gonna watch every
but I'm gonna love it. Yeah, you know
I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if they can get me to engage in this stuff, they're wrong.
If you think you can get me to follow your dark EXO Instagram, you are
You're
incorrect.
Because I'm not gonna do it. I'm not on board. But whatever. It's
also,
fine.
I'm upset that they put Chanyeol in those scary mismatching contact lenses. I don't like them. Everybody else looked hot and like had their abs out, and he looked scary.
I can't find it now, but I swear to God, I saw pictures of Kai today that like upset me. He looks scary.
Oh, I didn't see. I've only seen the teaser. But basically, if you haven't seen it, while you're looking for this, I'll explain.
Like, what the fuck is that? That's not attractive or fun or cute. He looks terrifying.
Yeah, I hate it when they do the bloody thing. They did that for Monster too. Yeah, that is very scary. Oh my God, this fucking communist flag that they've decided to wave.
Yeah, the logo this time is like two weird flags.
It's these contacts. Chanyeol's wearing them too. These scary
Monster
white
contacts.
eye zombie contacts, and I don't care that your abs are out. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. But I guess this is supposed to be roses. So EXO's coming back. There's the rose.
You know what? EXO coming back is a thorny rose.
It is.
Okay?
It always is.
It always is.
It always is.
Let the exhaustion begin.
Cheers. Speaking of some EXOs, I'll keep this rolling on topic again. Another thing that I enjoyed this month is a continuation of Super M content.
Yes.
They put out like a little mini reality show about their like trip to LA. That's pretty fun and cute.
What is it called?
Super M The Beginning.
Okay.
And the episodes I've watched so far are literally mostly just them choosing bedrooms.
Yeah,
and the,
that's all I've
that
seen
they
thus
stay.
far.
But it's very cute.
Well.
But another Super M thing that I think is wonderful is they made the new Korean Air safety video.
Yes.
With Boa. Boa's the narration voice on the reality show as well. So I wonder what the deal with that is. But,
interesting.
Yeah.
I bet you that was just SM thinking if we're going to put out this, like, why not grab Boa in there? She's our OG, right? Like, she's the
and
queen.
She has a nice narrating
and she has a
voice.
great speaking voice.
But yeah, they're in the safety video. There's like a whole song that is the safety video song now. You can buy it and the proceeds go to charity. And they made Super M planes, Korean airplanes that have their faces on the side of them.
They're enormous.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Because those planes are so big. I'd never been on like an international flight before I took my first Korean Air flight to Korea on my honeymoon, and it was one of the 2-story planes. And I'd never seen a plane that big in my, like, it's so wild to be next to a plane that is that big.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean this is going to go in the sky?
And then to be next to a plane that is literally the size of a building, and that building has your face on it. The videos of them walking out to the plane and like seeing it for the first time is amazing. Yeah. It's really fantastic. Lucas's little face.
Yes, I just can't stop thinking about.
He just couldn't believe it.
I think like now that we're like fully in the Super M of it all now, like I think that's honestly my favorite part of it is like seeing how different it is for the young kids. Not to say that it doesn't mean anything to Taemin to see his face on a plane. I'm just saying like he has had this level of like fame and cool shit happening to him for so long. But like to think about someone like Lucas, like you're on a plane, bro. Like you're part of this big thing. Like it's just very cute and cool.
My first thought because they like, after they sort of initially like, the initial shock wears off a little bit. Like each one of them, they're like taking pictures and like videos of it. Like, wow, it's myself on this plane. And I just kept thinking like, he's probably sending that to his mom. Like, look, mom, I'm on a plane. And it just really warms my heart. I'm just so proud of them.
I'm so proud of them. And like, I guess on that note, like, well, there's nothing to talk about yet. But one of the things that several people sent us as their roses is that people acquired Super M and 17 tickets this month, which we also did. So that's pretty great. We're all looking forward to that.
Yes.
Okay. The last two things on my list of roses are early November roses, but that's fine because we gotta get caught up before the news catches up to us.
Because we're in November now.
But GOT7 is back. And my word, are they back.
Oh, girl.
Oh, my God. So their new single is called When You Call My Name. And it is interesting. It is like the song itself was not what I was expecting at all. It has that similar funky bass line that was happening a lot last year, that like sick, like just great bass line. And the song itself is like very stark until the second chorus, and then the second chorus, these like full-on disco drums come in, and like it gets really fun. but it's just like a very falsetto-y song.
It's sexy and groovy and builds perfectly. And the choreography is incredible. The music video is beautiful. The choreography and the stage performances have really blown me away. They're doing great.
Yeah.
They're doing great stuff right now.
Big beautiful rose for GOT7, like they did. I was listening to some old episodes from around this time last year where like the cube kerfuffle of it all had been really bad, and I specifically said in one of those episodes, like, thank God for GOT7. They seem to always come back like right when I need the distraction.
Because last year they came out with Lullaby, which was perfect pastel boyfriends, and they made a Spanish version which like touched my heart in a million ways, and then now they came out with this song, and it's so fun, and it's like the choreography is artistic and strange in like a very interesting way, but then it also has that one little hip move.
Yes,
where they just this little hip wiggle, which is goofy. It is a silly move, but they pull it off, and it's like it makes me giggle and also blush at the same time. And I think that's a perfect description of GOT7.
Yes, that really is. That's good. I like that. And my last rose is such a big one. It's such a big one. I like haven't really thought about or done anything else in the last week, but Hyudon is back. All the way back. If you didn't watch it, you can go to our YouTube channel now. I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning last Tuesday to watch Hyuna and Dawn. By the way, we really got to drill this into people. Dawn's name is just Dawn now. And if you write on his Instagram, like, oh, Dawn, I love you, Psy himself will respond and say his name is Dawn now. It's like been happening every day. It's really wild, but his name is Dawn now. Just... we're all going to get used to it.
Rising Dawn, you guys. Rising Dawn.
But they put out simultaneous comebacks at the same time. True Gemini couple energy. I got up really early to film a reaction video. That's on our YouTube if you want to watch it. But Hyuna's, I want to call it a re-debut because, like, she's been a solo artist forever, but, like, this is like a true rebirth, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
The single is called Flower Shower. And something that I feel like has been polarizing, but I think is absolutely wonderful is that like the song itself is like fun, like more fun, feminine, cutesy than it is like hot, sexy Hyuna.
Yeah.
Which I think some people are like not sure what to do with. But like this is exactly the comeback she wanted. Yeah. She's been working on it since January. And the song itself is a little bit cheesy because she said she wanted it to feel like a Disney princess. Like that was her intention. And the lyrics of the song are like flowers, like just metaphors about like you have to take care of flowers. Like they need water and sunshine and like joy, but also flowers don't last forever. Like they will wilt and die, but like you love them while they're beautiful and like whatever. Because Hyuna is a flower, like rising from the frozen ground of like the troubles. But I love it. I think it's really fun.
I think it's fun too. The choreography is amazing. She has like 1,000 backup dancers on there with her, and one of them is so hot. Period.
Yeah, that's all there is to say.
He keeps distracting
You
me.
texted me the other day, like, sorry to this Hyuna, but that backup dancer is too hot. I can't pay attention.
Because he's always in the front.
Yeah.
And he should be in the front because he's beautiful. And he has like a lip piercing right in the middle.
And lots of tattoos.
And he wears his like shaggy hair like right in his face. And there's like one performance where he's wearing like they're all wearing like white button-ups, but underneath his button-up, and I don't think it's an actual tattoo, but he has like hearts.
I think it's real.
Really?
The big heart on his chest, I think it's real.
Oh, because I thought I saw him in a different shirt and it didn't look like it was there. But maybe it is. But anyway, he just had these like huge hearts on his chest, and I was just like, that one. Who? That one.
Yes. Yeah, he's good. It's good.
Yeah. She has very grown men dancers, and they're all beautiful.
And they're all good. And just a reminder, the dancers that Hyuna and Hyojong use they're from a company called Star System. And they were Hyuna's dancers when she was at Cube. And they all came with, like, they all continue to work with her, which is very nice.
I think that says a lot about what kind of artist she is to work with.
I agree. And on the flip side of that, Sweet Donnie made his actual solo debut with a song called Money. And in his true artsy Hyojong fashion, like the music video is very, very artsy. The dance performance is very, very artsy. And the song itself is like a monologue that's supposed to be from the perspective of like a young person that's trying to figure out like how to exist in a capitalist society. Like if money doesn't bring, one of the lines is, if money doesn't bring you happiness, then how are we supposed to live? Or like, I'd rather be like a rich asshole than a cheapskate, or like what is trying to figure out what money means. But then at the end, there's like an actual like full dropout of the music. And then he comes back with, I don't need you. So like, I think that's like the revelation at the end is that like money won't make you happy and it isn't a good thing to pursue and whatever. But he's trying to make a message. Yeah. And in the video itself, at that moment, there is like a rain. He's like not beat up anymore. And there's like petal rain, a flower shower, if you will.
Yeah.
They're so funny. They're so funny because they had their like comeback, like their joint comeback showcase. And they kept insisting when people asked them questions, they were like, we don't work together. We're separate.
But we're debuting together.
Love and work is different. And our songs don't have anything to do with each other. We're never going to make songs together. But like, it's a lie. Like they're full of it. But they're trying to pretend that they're like not completely attached at the hip. But one of more, I mean, there's just so much great content. I'm just like living. Hyojong also, I will stop doing that fangirl thing. Dawn put out he has like a documentary show now as well on his YouTube channel. And the first episode like legitimately made me cry a lot. It's the polar opposite of Hyuna's reality show. It's like very well edited and it's like very dramatic, feels like the wrong word, but it's like intentional and it's like storytelling. And he's just a sad boy.
But it is serious.
Yes, it's serious. It's serious. And him talking about like his passion for dance and like what it felt like to lose everything last year and like the deep emptiness that he feels and like the joy that music gives him or whatever. But like, oh, he's just the softest soft boy. And I just like want to hold him and like he makes me so, but I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. His song went to 75 on the Melon on the first night, which is higher than like any Pentagon song has ever done. So like he's doing it on his own. Shine might have gotten to like, it didn't get that, like it even didn't get that high, I don't think. But anyway, point is he's doing good. And the best part, this is like an early rec. It's not my actual rec, but also I really think everybody needs to watch it. They went on Knowing Brothers as a couple this weekend. Breaking boundaries,
making
true
history.
Heroes. They went on Knowing Brothers as a couple and said, this is the first and last time we're going to do this. Ask us literally anything you want. And they told their whole love story and it's fucking beautiful. It's like fan fiction. It's like literal actual fan fiction that like she was in love with him from the moment that she met him, but didn't want to say anything because like she just couldn't and like his career and she was trying like, it's wild. And did I go back yesterday and watch a bunch of Roll Deep stages knowing that she was fully in love with him and he didn't know it yet and cry about it? Yes, I did do that. But it's really great and it's really good. And my favorite part of their Knowing Brothers appearance is that after it aired, his name was trending on Naver and all of the netizens were like, oh my God, he's actually like very good looking and sweet. And like all the pictures, I thought he seemed like a no good Nick druggy because of his like fashion
his, like,
makeup.
Yeah.
But they were like, he's so charming and sweet. And I like, he's getting new fans. Like he's getting his chance. And I'm just really proud of him.
Good for them both.
Good for them both. Like they're true revolutionaries and they seem happier than I've ever seen them. Like there's a true weight lifted off of their shoulders and like they can just be now. And I'm really proud of them. And it's really exciting.
Yeah. And thank you to Psy for giving them this opportunity and this platform to be the artists that they wanted to be.
Yes. Yes. So those are our roses.
Yeah.
that we have to look at and tend to and appreciate our roses, because sometimes this K-pop journey will have dips and sadnesses and angers and whatever. So, I think whenever these big moments where we like lose somebody, whether it be permanently or from a group or whatever, I think it all just reminds us that like we have to appreciate the good times when we have them, like,
Yeah.
just really love the things you love.
You never know where you're going to be a year from now, whether that be a positive thing or a negative thing. So take a moment to be present in the positivity that does exist. It does exist.
It does exist. And on that positive note, we will be right back with our random game. All right, we're back. And the random number generator seemed to be like, you're talking about good things and scandals today. So like, how about I give you
Here's a big fat thorn.
Here's some more. So the group that we got, I feel like some of our listeners will probably know about this considering how many like ARMY we definitely have. But the group is a former girl group called Glam. Mm-hmm. And Glam was from Big Hit Entertainment, BTS's company.
Yes.
And all of those fans know that like Big Hit doesn't do girl groups anymore, and this might be one of the reasons. So Glam debuted in 2012. They had 5 members: Trinity, Jiyeon, Zinni, Dahi, and Miso. They just seemed to be like, this was before BTS was huge. So like Big Hit was a very tiny company. Mm-hmm. They were just doing that tiny company girl group thing. Yeah. They had a song go to 37. That was like the highest they ever charted. Mm-hmm. They were just doing their thing.
Mostly put out some singles. Doesn't seem like they even have a full album.
No, but the reason that anybody knows who this group is because of a huge scandal that happened in 2014 that one of the members was involved in. Mm-hmm. So there was this actor named Lee Byung-hyun, and I remember like watching this on the outskirts. So it was in the news, but like he said that 2 women were trying to blackmail him with like a tape. That they had a tape of him like talking dirty or like saying yucky things or something, and he's like a married with kids actor or something.
Oh dear.
And then it was revealed that the 2 women that were trying to blackmail him was member Dahi from this group and a model named Lee Jiyeon. They got charged for blackmail and were supposed to go to jail for a year. And then the actor himself requested the judge change it to 2 years probation. But this court case like fully ended the group.
ended Glam, who had previously, they debuted as a 5-member group, and before this scandal happened, they'd lost a member. And then after this scandal, it was just, that was it. They're done.
Yeah, so there's not much else to say, but like that was
Wikipedia
Glam.
page is like 4 sentences long.
Yeah. So their most popular music video is from 6 years ago, and the song is called I Like That. So let's check it out. Okay, we have 4 members already in this video. Okay, they're in like a big white room, and there's a chef giving them steak.
Their wardrobe is very interesting. It's very masculine.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just straight up b-boy breakdancing.
Okay, there's like multiples of all the girls. Wow.
Oh, interesting. So it's a dance break. Got a lot of footwork and literal breakdancing.
Yeah, one of these girls is like an actual breakdancer, and
she's
very
literally spinning on her head.
Ooh, this is like Frankenstein K-pop to the max.
Yeah.
And that dance move is very silly.
What?
Okay, now they're wearing like nerd glasses and baby doll dresses.
But their main aesthetic for this video is like hip-hop fashion.
One of them has a fur hat on.
And huge chains.
There's also like a motif where they're in like frames. Okay, now it says Glam the Horror.
And they're in TV.
And they have guns? Why are you okay? Grenades? Okay, so we've got like weapons and spray paint and beer.
What? So much is happening here. And there's like Simpsons things and like Batman.
They're trying to put one of the girls in an ambulance, but she's crazy.
I think she's supposed to be really drunk.
Oh. The camera was just doing one of those weird, like, shaky things, like, on TikTok, like, where the, like, frame speed is weird. Yeah, I feel like I just can't get a grasp on this.
But I also feel like I can't get a grasp on the aesthetics of it and, like, what this is supposed to be about visually. But I kind of like the song.
Yeah, it's not a bad song. It's just like it's that K-pop thing of being like 4 songs that like don't really go together.
But the vocalists are clearly very good singers.
Yeah, one of the girls has like a rasp. I like a nice rasp. But one of them has like a voice that I like.
I like that. I like that.
Huh. Oh, whoa. Okay, and then it ended so abruptly.
Wow.
That felt crazy.
That was a lot of things all at once.
So that was Glam. Interesting. Very interesting. I feel like I heard a rumor recently that like Big Hit might be looking at like girls again because now they have like a real big building and are like a real
Oh, yeah.
like a real company, quote unquote. Like they're one of the biggest companies or whatever. But I don't think so. Maybe they are still just doing boys.
I don't know. I always see posters for them in bathrooms in Koreatown.
Yes, that's
searching for
very
boys
true.
12 to 18.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Boys only. Boys
Yeah,
only.
boys
Okay,
only.
so yeah, they still haven't given that up. But yeah, that was Glam.
Well.
All right. It's weekly recommendation time. I'll go first. This was a thing that was one of my roses, but I saved it for a recommendation. And that is that my vocal favorite, my ballad queen, my lovely, my Taeyeon put out another massive album. Whenever she puts out full albums, she puts out albums. And they have like 18 goddamn tracks on them. But this one is no exception. The lead single is called Spark. And there's choreo to it. And she only does choreo like 50% of the time. So I was very excited to see that this one like had a dance. And there's like a power. I sent it to you. You said like, oh, this like makes me feel emotional in a way that I can't really explain. Like,
Can't put my finger on it.
there's like a power to it. And I love Taeyeon's voice. I love her albums. They're always like a highlight of my year. So I'm just so excited that she's back. And all I can say is like, listen to her new album because it's great.
It is. It's very good. Every song on it is consistently quality.
Yeah, she's
For
good.
sure.
So that's me.
My recommendation is a little bit different this time around because one of my roses of October, in the sense that this is just something that has consistently brought me joy every time I look at it, and so I recommend that everyone checks out Top's Instagram.
Okay.
Because I just love it so much. So his Instagram handle is Chaesunghyun Top, and there's like an underscore underneath each
Word,
Che underscore Song underscore Hyun underscore TTTOP. He loves an Instagram story. He does post very often, but like at first, when I started following him a couple months ago, he's a big art collector. So like most of his posts are like weird, and sometimes it's like just of paintings that he bought or that of like an exhibit that he went to. But he also loves to tell like a story through like swiping, like a post that you have to swipe through. Not like a literal, like he just tells you a narrative like in this little post. Like one of my favorites is he got named as one of like 100 best art collections in some magazine or whatever. And so as you like swipe through his post, it like changes. He takes the picture of like where it says number 57 or something, or like, and he crosses it out and he says number 1. And then the next picture is like of a monkey sticking its tongue out. And he's just really fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like he's really funny.
The one where he stole the dried fish the other night.
Oh my God,
And it said like,
it
come on,
killed me.
friends. Like,
He,
these
like,
are my friends.
yes,
and he
he,
like
like,
put them in his pocket.
Let's go
Funny.
home. He's so funny. He had this one was my favorite where it was like, it literally took like 30 whole seconds or like a 60 seconds of him slowly zooming in on this ice cream bar that was like all the way across the room. And then the very next one was just a picture of the empty wrapper on the floor. And then it said, "Don't covet my fucking ice cream." Just like, I don't know. He makes me laugh. And lately he's been posting more pictures of his beautiful face. And it was his birthday.
Yeah, he got drunk on his birthday and put up a real ass picture of himself.
A real picture of his pretty face and a video of him singing karaoke. And he sounds so good. And he just looks happy. And he posted like, congrats to G-Dragon getting out of the army.
And he posted funny like manips of like shipper manips of like him and Gigi like kissing. Funny.
He's just hilarious, and he seems like he's having a good time even in moments where he's having a hard time. Like he lost a friend recently to suicide, like a little while ago, an artist friend of his, and so he like posts about that too, and like he just seems to be in a very good place where like he had a hard time and like he had a really hard time, and then like getting out of the army, he just seems to have sort of built the life that he wanted for himself, and he seems to be content in just not giving a fuck anymore and like having a nice time and like having fun, and he's just being real on his Instagram, and I love it. And you don't have to follow him, but at least look at his stories because they're always funny.
I love that. On that note, I was going to do this when it came up earlier, but I have to ask because I have to know. I feel like there's probably somebody listening who knows who is the old white man that Top puts in the little jingle jangle. What are they called? Jib jabs.
Yeah.
That he posts. It'll be like two, skeletons dancing or whatever, and one face is Top, and then one is just like an old white man with a goatee who looks very annoyed and bored, and I don't know who that person is, and I just want to know so that I can get the joke.
I don't know his name, but I believe he's like an art collector friend.
So it's just like some other art guy.
Yeah, no, it's like a personal friend of his.
He looks like he could be like the Norwegian president, or like for all I know. Like I have no idea who this person is, and it always looks so random.
I believe he's an artist that Top has in his art collection become good personal friends with.
Okay.
But that is unconfirmed.
Okay. But if anybody can confirm it, I've always been curious. So just throwing that out there.
I love you, Top.
All right. That's it for this week. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can find us on social media at AMA K-Pop Pod on Twitter and Instagram. AMA K-Pop Pod at Gmail for emails. And I'll just say it publicly. I've been absolutely horrible at answering emails for like the last 2 months. I literally always read them the second that I get them.
I know.
And then sometimes you guys like write like paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, and it's so beautiful and nice, and I don't want to respond like, hey, cool, thanks, because I feel like you deserve more, but like I don't have time. So it's a toss up. But know that I always read your emails. We always read them.
Yes.
I'm just sorry I've been bad at answering
We always
them.
read them, and we always appreciate them.
Yes.
So if we didn't immediately answer you, just know that someday we will.
Someday I will, because it will bother me and I will do it. But I'm just sorry that it took so long. Also, ask me about K-Pop, the podcast on YouTube. Like I said, there's a new Hyudon reaction video up there if you want to look at it. And then our Amino community announcement, fun thing. We're going to start doing Amino chats once a month. Unlike last time, I don't think we will be recording them for episodes the vast majority of the time. So this is just literally a fun come hang out with us. And if you miss it, it's gone.
Yeah.
So
put it in your calendar.
in your calendar. November 24th is the next one we're going to do. I'll give you an exact time when it gets closer. But yeah, at that point, we'll probably just like chat about XO or whatever's going on. Like we might get a chance to like talk about more current news because we won't like be recording an episode for later. We can watch videos together. Maybe we'll play games. I don't know. It's just going to be like a fun hang out with us time. So
Yes, less of a formal episode and more of just a like, hey,
you want to ask us questions? Want to show us stuff?
A virtual hang.
Yeah, virtual hang. So November 24th is the next one of those. So follow us on Amino. Ask me about K-pop. And that's it. We'll be back next week. And until then, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Jonghyun, your inspiration.